Welcome to Nutrition Online. I just wanted to give you a quick tutorial on how to just walk you through how to get around in this online class. If you've taken a Canvas course before, what I think you'll find is that as instructors, we have multiple ways to set the courses up, and so I just want to make it a little bit easier for you to get around and show you how I have set up my course. So this is my home page, and I've opted to have the syllabus page, is what it is, as the home page. And I have the navigation buttons over here on the left, which will help you get through the course. I've started a few things up top here, which are also going to navigate and take you to the modules, the syllabus, announcements. And this takes you to where you're going to start with. So just to walk you through this home page, you'll see your grades over here on the left hand. And if you have anything that's been graded or something that's due, you'll find that you typically will have a running tab over here that tells you what's due and what's up and coming. The other way you can kind of look at and manage your due dates, at the very bottom of this page as you scroll down, you're going to find next to each date the different things that are going to be due. In order to get into some of these though, so if you wait till the last minute to get to this, you won't be able to open it. And I'll show you why here in a minute. But it does let you know to sort of manage your time, what's due and when it's due and when things are opening. And then obviously you can go over into the calendar, and the calendar will also show you what's due and when it's due. There we go. And so if you go into the calendar, and you'll find that all of your classes are going to be any of your classes on Canvas will have the due dates listed in here as well. So this is also another way to kind of manage. You can download this calendar to connect with other calendars you have if that makes sense for you, just to remind you of due dates. And I can tell you each week what you're going to find is that the chapters will open. So chapter 1 is going to open. And there's nothing really in this calendar feed here other than to let you know that chapter 1 has opened. Chapter 2 opens, and so on and so forth. They're each going to open up on Friday with all of the material. So as chapter 1 opens up here on the 19th, you will have then this whole next week to get the material done, and the final information oftentimes will be due the following Monday. So a couple things will be due midweek. So the chapter will open on a Friday. Your initial discussion post will be due on Wednesday, and the chapter quiz. The chapter quiz is a 5-point true false quiz. You get 2 tries at it. So it's just to kind of make sure that you're familiarized with the information. And so the initial post is always going to be due by Wednesday. The follow-up post, so you'll make your post, and then I want you to go back in after Wednesday and read what your classmates have written and comment on at least 2 of those students. But when you look at the due date for the discussion, the ultimate due date is going to be listed for that following Monday. So for instance, here the chapter opens on the 19th. The discussion is listed as due on the 29th. However, your initial post needs to be done by Wednesday, and the due date doesn't necessarily show that. So to help you with that, I have the chapter quiz that you'll need to take. You can't access it until you've done your initial post. So hopefully that's kind of a reminder. Sometimes that gets confusing. The problem with not having staged due dates on that, in other words, having that initial post due midweek, I find that students tend to wait until the 29th, the day that the discussion's due, and they do their initial posts and they do their follow-up posts, and students don't have enough other students in there to be able to read their initial posts. So that's my reasoning, my rationale behind doing it that way. So let's go back over to where we were at in terms of the opening page. So here's the opening page. As you come on this, ultimately you'll want to click on the modules here, or you can click on the modules over here. But to get started, starting here will actually take you to the first module itself. And so when you're on the modules page, what you'll find is that all of the weeks are listed here. So I've got them opened up. But you can wander down week 1, week 2, week 3, so on and so forth, the material that's due in there. So it's best to go into the modules page, open it up, see what you need to get done for that week. And you'll need to move through the modules in a consecutive order. So in other words, you're going to start here. This is the only one that you actually can open. You won't be able to open up the next part of the module until you finish this. So you have to move through this in a sequential order. So again, if if you're kind of running late that week and you're wanting to get some of the things done, for instance, the quiz that's due or the discussion that's due, you won't be able to get to it until you've read through the material. So I encourage you to get started early in the week. The module opens on Friday. If you can get that material done early that week, get into it Friday or earlier in the week, then you're more likely to be successful. So here's the starting one. This is what most of your introduction modules are going to look like. It'll tell you a little bit about what you're going to be able to do by the end of the module. These are the expectations of what I'm hoping you'll get out of this module. And these are the things that you're going to be doing. The first week looks a little bit overwhelming. It looks like there's a lot of information in there. We don't really use the book so much this first week because I know some of you are still struggling to get the book. So it's a lot of busy work, and really what it is trying to get you familiarized to make sure I know that you know how to do the different assignments that are going to be in Canvas. So it looks like a lot, but it's actually very, very quick. So you'll just go on and navigate through, talk a little bit about the syllabus. Again, you'll need to view this page, read through this page. It'll take you back to the syllabus page. It's a good idea to go ahead and download the syllabus and make sure you're familiar with everything that's listed in that syllabus. That's kind of our contract, as in any class. And communicating with your instructor. This page may be a little different. Actually, to be able to email the instructor, and you'll want to go back to the home page to be able to do that. Oh, I'm sorry, it's right here. The inbox is actually over to the left now. It used to be at the top. So this is a little bit off, but the inbox is right here to be able to email your instructor. You can also email any other students in the class. So you have the ability to communicate with other students if you're hoping for some extra help from other students. So you'll go through and do that. A little bit about the discussions. We've already talked about this, and I've tried to line this out because this becomes a little challenging for some students. So actually, the initial post can be started on the opening day, which for this class I believe I've said is Friday. So typically it will open on Friday of the week, each chapter. You can post anywhere from that time all the way through up until Wednesday. So your initial post is going to be due on Wednesday. Starting on Thursday, you can put in replies to other students. So I want everyone to get their initial post out there so that you can kind of go through and look at what everybody else has posted so that you can make your reply. Your final 2 follow-up posts must be done by the following Monday. And the intent of this is really for you to make your initial post, follow up on 2 different students. And what I encourage in your follow-up is that you ask questions, you post, additional information to theirs, and ask questions of those students that you're replying to. And as somebody whose initial post you've had questions, you then reply to those students who've asked you questions. That's kind of the nature of getting this to be more of a discussion-based project. Just to let you know, the discussion rubric, and there's a grading rubric for all of the assignments. And so this shows you specifically how I am going to grade the discussion. So if you're curious as to why you get a grade you get, you'll be able to look back after I've done the grading rubric and see specifically where I've done it. So if you want 10 out of 10, this is going to tell you exactly what you need to do to get that 10 out of 10. Probably the biggest problem for many students is they don't get their initial post done by Wednesday. And so that's a big chunk of points that come away, because typically that means, not only are you losing these points, but oftentimes you're losing points down here because you have not actually done that post. So be sure to get your post in and done early. There's leniency this first week because we still have some students that will be adding late. So I'm not as strict on the first week. So then you'll go on to the discussion post. Actually, before you go there, the initial discussion post is going to have you read through, some of the responsibilities of being an online student and just some ideas in terms of how to contribute to a discussion. And then the actual discussion forum here. So some tips below, again, on being an online student, things that you can do. And here's what actually your post is going to consist of. So you'll go ahead and make your repost. And just to show you, so if you don't make your initial post and you decide to skip on to the next portion of the module, it will not let you get on to this portion. So you cannot go on and do that quiz until you have completed everything prior to it. So since I did not complete my discussion post, I can't go on and take the quiz. So you'll backtrack, and just for purposes of this, reply. I'm just going to put in here, you're going to put your name. You're going to follow the discussion up there, but I'm just going to say hi for now, just so that I can move on to the next one. And we'll move on to the next one. So now it will let me go on to quizzes. And so this will talk a little bit about what's going on with the quizzes, and you can read through this. Basically, there's an opening true-false quiz, just gives you the ability to sort of make sure that you've read through the material, things that are important, and you're allowed 2 attempts at it. So if you don't do well the first time, you can take it a second time. And again, this quiz, the opening quiz will always be due on Wednesday night. It will always follow the discussion, which sort of forces you to get your initial discussion post in there. And that was my way of, sorry about that. Okay, so cruising through there. And here's what the quiz will look like. You have 20 minutes to complete the opening quiz. And again, you'll be able to take it twice. So I won't be able to go to the next one because I didn't take the quiz, and I can't take the quiz. So I'm going to bump back to the modules just to show you what it looks like as you've moved through. So you can see over here, if you're in the module view, it shows you that you've completed all of these. And it really will not let you move ahead without completing all of these. So if it's helpful in terms of if you do a few things and then you come back the next day or later in the day and you want to know where you're at, it just shows you right exactly where you can jump in. So you can click on this one to go through. And that's kind of the opening. So you'll be doing several exercises here in the opening just to show doing discussion, doing a quick little quiz. I've also got on here, and you will be working on using this diet analysis software and so on and so forth. So there's a couple different little things in here that you're going to be working on this first week. I wouldn't wait till the last minute to do it. It's not time, none of the assignments are terribly time consuming, but to do them all at the last minute is not going to be the best way to manage that. And then again, here starting in week 2, you'll find that it's fairly structured. You're going to have an opening page that walks you through everything you need to do. This one you actually can look at, so it doesn't require you to finish the whole previous module, but you can take a look at what's going to be due and what you're going to be going through for this week. But and you can start going through this week as well. Both these weeks I'm going to have open. So here's kind of your lecture, what the lecture looks like. There's some videos in here. And then I also, each week, just to let you know, I have what is more of a lecture outline. And I have it here in PDF form if you want to download it and do it on paper as you're reading through the book. And this is just to kind of navigate you through some of the more important points of the book, try to get you focused in on what perhaps might be some of the information you're going to get tested on. And I have emailed you that both the 13th edition or the 14th edition are available. So I apologize if there's some of the pages or some of the tables are not jiving with which edition you have. But that could be some of the hiccups in there. There's a few changes in the more current edition, and I realize the current edition, the 14th edition, is terribly expensive. So I'm trying to fill in the gaps for those of you who have chosen to get the 13th edition. So that's kind of how this one's going to look. You'll go through, it'll have a walkthrough and just kind of walk it through there. So that's how it's set up. You can always navigate back to the modules. You can get your grades from here. You can go back to the home page and kind of start from there. Your grades are listed over here. You can always go into the grades and see what your grades are. And if you have any questions in terms of how to do anything with Canvas, there is also a help button for you on Canvas to be able to go in and get some help with your Canvas. So you can go back to your account page and it will allow you to go in and get some resources there. Okay, good luck and hope we have a great semester.